So, for this next video that we're going to show, we're going to analyze Death Note, which has become immensely popular in widespread anime culture ever since when it came out. And so one of the biggest conversations that people have had about this anime is between the main character Light and another main character L, who's investigating Light, on whether they are both gay, or mainly whether L is gay. L is very passive. He's seen often alone a lot of times. He doesn't talk about being attracted to men or women, so he could be, asexual. We don't know, but there's a lot of this sparks a very interesting topic in how there's fans are typically looking for, they're discussing about fascinating characters that could explore different LGBTQ fascinations and also identities. And so L has been one of the most controversial topics because there are a lot of moments in this series where L you could point to and say, oh, well, this kind of proves that L tends to be on the LGBTQ spectrum. There's others where, oh, well, he's probably mostly asexual. But either or, L is a very good character to analyze. And so there's this one moment in the series, it's very popular, where it's before L, I won't spoil it, but before something bad happens to L, Light and L have kind of this kinship moment. It's very odd, but it's kind of as in the middle of everything, and so they've been at it for quite some time. And so I don't like the title. It says unintentional gay moment, because I do think this was intentional, and I think a lot of other fans think that this is intentional. So we're just going to go ahead and watch this. So they were talking on top of the building for a while. So he chooses to dry him before he dries himself, and then now Light is drying him off. It's a very serious moment. Then we have this scenery. The translation is supposed to be lonely, not sad. So let's see if there's more. I think there is. Okay, so what's important about this scene, particularly this part right here, where they're both, if I can get a good shot of it, I'm going to try. This right here, a lot of people point to religious background in this because, particularly Christian, when Jesus was washing the feet of disciples. And so there's this odd, very tender moment we see, and this is very rare because during the entire anime, these two characters are going at it, trying to strategically play against each other. But we find it's just really beautiful and really interesting to analyze that the makers included this scene, because I think it really shows mercy in a lot of different ways, and that LGBTQ nature in general is merciful in terms of just, that's how they're presenting it here. And I think this was really well done. There wasn't, the dialogue was well done. It didn't need to be overused. And I particularly felt as if these two characters genuinely had an attraction. Whether that is gay is kind of beside the point in terms of just getting this tender moment across. And I think there is a lot of background to be said for this particular moment that does support the notion that it's probably an LGBTQ scene. But there is this interesting article response from the Queer Project, WordPress.com, which is just kind of a blog, if you will. And so we see right here that the author says, "We may never know for sure if this tentative friendship between two genius detectives who never showed much of an interest in the opposite sex was anything more than the awkward gesture between men, or if it was press love. Yet we can say that it raises some eyebrows if one thinks hard enough. In addition, with the love shown," and this is a different character, Rim is a different character, so it would not be much of a stretch to say, had some details been Friday, romance could have been possible between Light and L. And there is many, and here's the dialogue part right here is what I'm talking about. The dialogue is well written and the plot is something while fitting into a otaku convention takes the viewer on a stimulated and suspense filled ride. So what I think is the most important about this is really including this scene, knowing that there are millions of fans of this anime, and knowing that these fans are going to see this scene and really stop and think about this scene. And I think that's one of the things that anime has done for LGBTQ presence is it does make you think. At least it makes you wonder. It makes you really, other types of genres of animation doesn't really bring on this dialogue, bring on this discourse, but throughout this particular show, it really does. So that's it for this clip, and we're going to move on to the next one in a few. Thank you so much.